Hello and welcome to Hidden Existence. Hope everyone's doing all right out there tonight. Got a great show for you tonight. If you caught the last time we did this, Larry Batson was on with his son. Hi, Larry. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Daniel.
Hello.
Hello. And it was a great night of sketching a Bigfoot with Gary Spikes. And tonight we've got all the way from... Where are you from anyway, Tex?
I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count.
Are you from Missouri?
Jersey.
Texas is...
Your Wisconsin is sideways on the wall there.
Yeah.
New York, is it?
It looks like a big thumbs up thing to me.
Yeah,
it looks like a thumbs up, you know?
Squint your eye. Or a thumbs down.
I am from Cowtown, Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, excellent.
Where the West begins.
Right, good to know. Good to
And
know.
no, we don't still ride horses and wear 6. No, I can't say that. Never mind.
No.
Did you lose your electricity? Did you lose your electricity, Tex?
I did, but not for. I lost it for. I think the most I lost it was like 6 hours at a time, but that happened several times. Now my mother-in-law, which lives just a couple miles from me, lost it for 4 days straight.
Oh my gosh!
And she's in her 80s, so that was kind of spooky.
Yeah,
that's your mother-in-law.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, we came out on the other side of it just fine. Everybody's fine. So we came out a lot better. We didn't have any busted pipes or anything like that. So, you know, we're good to
go.
Good.
That's wonderful news. Sorry about your mother-in-law, though.
Yeah.
Well, she was a little bit uncomfortable, but you know, a few extra blankets and she's all right.
Yeah.
She's tough old bird.
That's right.
Cajun, so.
Oh yeah.
Oh well, yeah.
She is.
So tonight, guys, we're going to be drawing again. Well, Larry's going to be drawing because I'm not good at it. And it's going to be.
I need a sharp pencil for this deal, don't I?
Oh, are you all prepped up? We're gonna go and listen to Tex's encounter. Well, Larry's going to lead Tex into it. I think I'm going to let Larry take over this bit because he does it so well, and I'm excited. I think a lot of people are excited to see this. So no pressure on anybody. But
that's what you say.
We've got it.
That's what you say. No pressure on nobody. What if I suck tonight? You know?
Well, you know, be fine. You won't.
Impossible.
But yeah, exactly. It's impossible.
I think I need to drink something before I go do this.
What are you drinking out of, anyways?
Would be the Yeti, North America's greatest drinking device. It'll keep that beverage cold for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And plus, tonight it's hosting lemonade.
Ooh,
for this wonderful show with Daniela. Tex, who's really from Missouri, but he's just lying to us.
I did install the hotline.
Oh, nice.
I used to have a hotline, but it burned the crap out of me a couple times, so I gave that sucker up.
What's the number to that phone, or do I have to talk to like Pearl and give her the give me Fort Worth 314?
BR 549.
Jenny, don't lose that number, Jenny.
8675309.
Don't lose that number, Jenny.
I'm just going to show the image that you made last time for Gary. So, Gary, if you're in, get prepared. I don't want to. So I just want him to be brace himself. That was an excellent image and show. The whole thing was really good. So we shall see what magic Larry does tonight.
Yeah. Did you catch the last one, Tex? Did you get to see that experience? That was interesting. It'll be cool to see your experience too. And obviously, we're here to support you. And I may throw some questions at you too because I'm new to all of this. So especially Dogman's I'm just starting to learn Bigfoot and Sasquatch, and so Dogman's a whole other realm. So I'll have lots of questions.
I'll tell you what, and I've said it 100 times. I wish I had seen a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Because here I was 16. That's a long time ago. I'll be 54 this month, and so that was quite a ways back. And I didn't know anything other than call it than a werewolf at the point, because the term dogman wasn't even coined at that point. You know, to me, it was just a freaking werewolf. So, you know, it was traumatic, and it set me back about 6 months. I stayed around the house and didn't go out for about 6 months.
Wow. And you're an outdoorsy guy, right?
Yeah. In fact, I was on my way home from hunting when I saw it. So.
Wow. And you were 16?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
And it might have been different if I'd have seen it. Oh, it's running across that field over there. Look at that. That's kind of cool. What is that? No.
Yeah.
No. Right across the road in front of me, about 20, 30 feet.
That was my next question. How close were you to it? 20 or 30 feet? Well, that's pretty close.
I was close enough to see that it had a black mottled mouth.
You see it's what?
It had a black mottled mouth.
Oh, well, I'll have to remember that. I hope I brought enough charcoal.
You know, because that was no wives' tale for a long time. That's how you find a smart dog, is they got black in their mouth. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and you get the white and the black. Some dogs just have black gums, but this one was pink and black mottled. You know, so.
Well,
I was lucky enough to have him snarl at me so I could see it.
Oh, right.
It snarled at you?
Yeah.
Oh,
my
this
Lord.
is going to be an interesting
Yeah.
drive.
All right. Well,
Danielle,
I've told this story so many times, and I thought, well, here we go again, you know, and I didn't think I'd be nervous, but I mean, I'm sitting here shaking, and we haven't got into it. So
well, I ain't going to help with that.
So
I might make your life miserable after this deal.
But normally I don't really have a problem reliving it and telling it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I think it's the whole that I may, because nobody I've ever talked to and tried and count myself trying to draw it, nobody's ever got it dead on, or even really, really close to being dead on. So, you know,
well, we'll be here for you. Everyone in the chat here for you.
In fact, I did about a 5-minute sketch months ago.
Yeah.
And I just happen to have it right here.
Well, let's see it later. Let's see it after maybe the sketch and see if we can compare it.
I want to see it now.
That'll be cool to see it with next, after Larry puts his up to.
Yeah.
Now I am.
He may blow me out of the saddle.
I'm a notch above a stick figure with hair hanging off of it, so
Oh,
it'll be photorealistic.
All right. Well, for any of the viewers at home that may get nauseous when they ride a roller coaster or can't ride in the back seat of a car and they puke all over the upholstery, you may want to look away from the camera for a moment while I move the camera, and we'll progress. Now I'm scared already. You got me scared, Tex.
I'm scared too.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, we're moving that camera now. Oh, and for those who took a Dramamine before the show, God love you. Yeah, that always helps.
Oh, no. We're going up to the ceiling.
Yeah, how you doing? Hey,
there's the turtles.
Sea legs.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on here.
That's not bad.
Oh, well, I had a really good beforehand. That figures. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
It's
Can you reach the easel from there, Larry?
Yeah, that looks okay, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that's
I
good.
see. I have a lot of people from. I see. Recognize a lot of people from my show. So, hey guys, I'm glad
Oh,
you showed up.
you have a show too, Tex?
Sure do.
Oh, well, we
Trinity
don't anymore. All right.
I've hit the Holy Trinity. If you want to look at it that way, I've seen a dogman, a Sasquatch, and ghost.
Oh my gosh,
So I actually have a picture of the ghost.
you do?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I got to see that later.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a little different. Can you give me some idea of what the top of its head looked like?
Okay, going from the top down. Now the thing about it is, he didn't have. I don't guess we're worried about color here. He was, but just for the audience, he was black with some silver or gray mixed in. Okay.
Okay.
So I kind of think he may have been older. But I mean, hell, who knows? You know,
That's right.
I'm not that old, and I got a lot of, but I look like Santa. But anyway, the hair on his head, going down the back of his head, between his ears and his shoulders and his back, was the longest on his body. He looked like he had a mane.
Okay. What was now on were the ears large?
They weren't overly
Larry?
large. I'm sorry.
Hit
What?
something on his mic. Sorry, I can just hear some distortion. Is it your Larry? Have you hit something on your mic, maybe, or something?
I don't think so.
Can you hear that?
I heard it for a moment. Now I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, it's gone now.
Okay. It's a
His
Taliban.
His ears were the part that and you got to remember, I saw him. He come out of the brush on my left, took about 3 steps across the road, and then dove over the fence on my right side. Now,
Okay.
but the part that's really frozen in my memory is when he, about mid stride, about middle of the road, he was right there pretty much even with me, and he turned his head and he growled at me, and snarled and growled at me.
Well, let me explain before we we roll into this deal. Anything that I draw that is not right, do not hesitate to tell me. That's why we've got erasers, okay? Because we want to get this puppy. We want to get this dead on.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. All right. So were the ears far apart on his
They
head?
were. You know, a lot of the pictures of dogmen that you see, the ears are way up on the head, but his weren't. They were almost as low as a human's would be, but not quite. But they were laid back. You know, like when a dog or a horse gets upset,
Yeah.
and they pin their ears back.
Yeah.
That's how he was when he growled at me.
Was the top of his head rounded?
It was. Well, there was some the forehead looked like it probably was, you know, because the hairline started right about here, and like I said, it just went up, in a mane, just back and almost.
All right.
I guess you call it mullet, but the mullet went all the way down his back. So, but the hair went down like over his head, kind of not wide as his shoulders, but almost, and then went down like that on his back.
Okay.
And then the hair on his back and his head was probably, God, 8-10 inches long. It looked like, but it just kept going. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. So is that accurate to the roundness between the ears?
Yeah, that looks about right.
And you say the ears were lower than what we see in most pictures. Okay.
Right.
Were they almost? Was it a large ear?
They weren't overly large no more. They were proportionate.
Well, I mean, were they like a German Shepherd?
They were dog ears.
Okay.
And you said they were on the sides about where a person's ears were?
Yeah, just not quite as low, but almost.
Okay.
Is that accurate? Can you see that text?
I'm gonna get up here. No, they were actually a little lower.
Oh, okay.
So nearly level with where the eye line.
Right.
Oh, gotcha.
Is that better?
That's better.
Is that close?
Yeah. But they didn't. Now I'll tell you, they didn't stick out like that. They were pinned back almost to his head. Because the whole when he growled at me and looked at me, I got the sense of a warning from him because I was so used to, because I grew up around horses and dogs, and
Right.
when horses' ears pinned back, that's they're not happy. So that's the way it struck me is back off, So
How about that?
yeah, that's a little better.
No, is
They
it
almost-
right?
Well, they almost had like like about midway up, they almost turned and kicked back towards the head and went into a tip.
Okay, gotcha.
So they hugged the side of the head?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
More like that?
Yeah, more like that.
Is that right?
Yeah, they were a little bit longer though.
Longer.
Yeah.
Down this way.
No, up.
Up.
Yeah. They were like this. You know what I'm saying? They were pinned back like this.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Can't believe y'all get me to take my hat off doing this.
Was that what I saw a bright light coming through? I wonder what was going on.
Yeah, I actually polished those solar panels right before I came on.
Well, that beard is about one of the most impressive ones I've seen in a while. So,
Well, I appreciate it.
Okay, are we close?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay. Does it need to be smaller?
Can you make it full screen again, Danielle? No, actually, I mean they're longer.
I think perspective-wise, they're going to look a little shorter from head on because they're going back.
Yeah, because I was lucky enough because he turned his head, so I was able to see, because he was running, in front of me, and he turned his head and looked at me like this, so I was able to see. It's almost a 3/4 view, is what I saw.
Is that
I caught
long
the
enough?
profile in about a 3/4 view when he turned his head.
Oh, okay. So is that ear long enough?
Well, it's hard for me to imagine what it would look like from the side because that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as I think what Larry's asking, as far as the thickness of the ear from top to the bottom on the side of his head,
Yeah.
is it going down far enough on his head?
Yeah.
Like where your earlobe for me and you would be?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there really wasn't an earlobe. It was, they kind of, just kind of went into the jawline. I mean, there was you could tell there was some separation, but it wasn't like you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they went in and then the jawline started.
Gotcha.
Is that close?
Here. So.
Is that close text?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, most
So his
people.
eyes were. I'm sorry.
Most people, when they try to draw it, it's it ends up looking bat-like, or if you remember Ghostbusters,
Oh,
the
yeah.
the Gozer,
Yeah.
that dog. It almost it tends to come out like that, and it wasn't like that.
Okay. The eyes, were the eyes large?
They were not. They were
Normal?
proportionate. They weren't overly large. They were a little large, but not what I would say huge. And they were almost. They were almond shaped.
How much far down?
Raise your hand up just a little bit to level it out. Right about there.
Close together?
No,
Okay.
no, they were separated because the bridge of his snout came down between them.
Close?
Yeah, except the outer edge
Mm-hmm.
turned up instead of down.
Oh, okay. God, he was really mad.
Yeah, when it looked at you, Tex, was it in more of a snarl?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. No, that's not scary at all. That would be terrifying.
How about that?
they were a little more narrow.
More narrow.
Yeah, they weren't as globe like. They weren't as round. They were more, I guess, slanted. You call it. I don't know.
Hmm.
Of course, that could have been because he was snarling, and it could have been squinted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. There you go.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah. Cheese Freak says, looks like you shouldn't feed them after midnight or get them wet.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Is that good? Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Better than the ones you've had before drawn?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the snout.
Now, the snout, he was wolf-like, but he didn't have a pointed snout of a wolf. It was broad, maybe about 4 to 5, maybe 6 inches long, and it was I want to almost mastiff, or
Okay.
boxer-like, but just a little longer.
Okay. Would that be in the vicinity?
Are we looking at the bottom of the chin? What are we looking at?
We're looking at the bottom of the snout.
Okay, now go lower. A little lower. Right about there.
So did it have the jowls that folded over like you said a boxer or a mastiff would have?
No, it did not.
Okay.
Did it have a nose? Was the nose like a dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the teeth, there wasn't really nothing special about them. They were, of course, being as big as he was, he, had a mouthful of teeth, but they were just, looked like canine teeth to me.
Is that nose big enough?
No, a little wider.
A little wider.
The nose, the nose pretty much covered the entire end of the snout.
Oh, okay.
A few people have commented, but I think you've got an aquarium or something going on in the background of you, Larry.
Yeah.
I can hear some sort of water, yeah.
Yeah, it's the turtles.
The turtles.
The turtles.
It's
Oh, the
comforting.
turtles. We've never met the turtles.
Is that wide enough?
Yeah.
I know this looks weird, but I think it's going to come together. You know.
Oh, if we get this part right, we're gonna knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that nose wide enough, Tex?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I don't think so. Is it?
No, it could be a little wider.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, don't be shy, Tex.
Larry will want to get this as spot on as he can for
Yep.
Is that wide?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. How's that look?
That looks good.
You're sure?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I will be back in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Clock's running.
How about that?
That's almost the top of it wasn't as rounded. It was
Square.
Well, it almost was more triangular.
Old triangle.
Because of the hair, that was kind of like the hairline.
There you go.
Like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And you say the snout was wide.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a blunt snout. It wasn't, the sharp wolf snout or the German Shepherd snout. It wasn't like that at all.
Okay, like that.
The lines, I don't know, to me, and this is it's hard to explain. It was like just above the bottom of the ears.
Yeah.
Was where like the upper lip line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we need to move him up? Is the snout too long?
No. It's just like, but I think it's going to come together. But I think so once we put the bottom of the snout on and everything, I think it's going to work out. Because I think once we get the lower jaw on, I think it's really going to.
Okay.
So, what were you doing, Tex? You just finished hunting?
Yeah.
And were you on your own?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was by myself.
What do you think?
I think we're looking good.
Okay. All right. Now, how would you describe his jaw?
He had a definite jawline, strong jawline. So
Like that.
yeah.
All right. Now. Okay. This is the bottom of his snout.
Okay.
So his mouth. How wide was his mouth?
Well, it went. I mean, it opened like a dog's mouth. So it was. I mean, it was the entire width. The mouth was
The width of his snout.
I'm saying, say again.
The width of his snout.
Yeah, almost, but it was actually a little wider. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sitting here looking at the picture I drew, and I'm going, okay, make sure I got this right.
Like that.
You're going to have to go full screen again. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, how open was it when he snarled at you?
It was wide enough for the teeth to separate, and I could see because his lips were furrowed back, and and I could see his tongue sitting in the bottom of his mouth.
Oh, okay. Canines. He had canines.
Yes.
Larry, somebody just said it looked like their passport photo from the 90s.
God be with you. Regular dog teeth, though, you said?
Yeah, yeah.
Are the canines long enough?
Yeah, yeah. They weren't overly large.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, but the way and also, I mean, I could see
His tongue.
the molars and stuff too, so it was.
Okay. Like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a pretty wide mouth, but it had a
Yeah.
proper muzzle, like you said, like a wolf would have, or a dog.
Yeah.
Leon thinks it looks like a baboon jaw. Bamboo.
Bamboon.
Bamboo.
Yeah, it kind of does, really.
Mm.
Larry's seen a baboon jaw up close.
Yeah. Is his mouth should be open more than that?
Yeah, maybe a little. Man, I want to show you this picture so bad, Larry.
Show it to me. Okay.
Oh, that's from the side. Got it.
Yeah, because I can't draw front on, so I draw profile.
Well, it's probably easier to take a good look at it once it was turned and not focused directly on you. I would have been like, you probably froze you and.
That must have been terrifying seeing that.
Mm.
And the weird thing about it is, I was scared, but for some reason, I didn't fear for my life, type of scared. It was just I don't know. It was a different type of fear I've never experienced before, I guess.
His chin. How big was it? Is the mouth right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, his chin was, the whole muzzle came together, and there wasn't no hang. The nose didn't hang over the mouth. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
And it just all came together.
Okay. Well, that'll happen when we do the.
Right.
So the chin was it long hair?
He had hair hanging off his jaws, his lower jaws, and kind of his chin, but it wasn't real thick. And I remember hair hanging off of like up here too, his cheekbones.
Okay. All right. So if I went, would that be accurate?
Yeah, that's about as close as I've seen it.
All right, let's bring this puppy to life.
And you said it had a thick mane of hair. How high up would that have gone off of its head? Like if you were looking at its hairline there above the eyes, how?
Just about the top of where the ears come in,
Uh-huh.
in the top, just about there.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't a big pompadour. It was close to its skull.
Well,
Just
it
like
kind of went all Elvis, you know.
Oh, okay. Punk rock, 80s punk rock, or 80s metal
Yeah,
rock.
yeah. And it just fell, behind his ears and went, down down this way, and then kind of cascaded over his shoulders and went down his back like that.
Gotcha.
So his eyes was his eyes dark? Could you see any white at all?
They were just like that's one thing that's weird. Everybody talks about yellow eyes, red eyes. Man, this thing had just regular dog eyes, brown eyes.
Okay.
What was the biggest thing that stood out to you that you distinctly remember about its features? Anything in particular?
I think it was his mane, and I mean it was his. I keep talking about the black mottled mouth and everything, but it was shocking to me how canine it was, because it's just it's just I couldn't get my mind wrapped around it, because I've been seeing werewolves in movies when I was a kid, but they weren't supposed to exist.
Yeah.
And here I was looking at one. Oh God.
What happened?
Oh, got a little shiver.
Oh, good.
That's
I felt it too when you said that.
first of many.
Um,
Well, also, and there's got to be that point going over, like you said. These are in movies. I've seen these in movies. I'm not supposed to be seeing one on my way home from hunting.
right. And
Wow.
I think everybody that sees these things, I think, now I can't say it, but I think the human mind tries to find something that's already out there that looks real close to it. You know what I'm saying? To try to,
Some association.
right. And the closest thing that I've seen is the American Werewolf in London.
Oh, wow.
So if you remember that is more of a big burly head than the streamlined thing of a wolf. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What you would see if a person's facial structure transformed into a wolf's structure.
Yeah.
And you were on foot when you saw it, Tex?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So you didn't have a bit of safety of being inside a metal structure like a car.
Absolutely nothing. I was walking down a gravel road.
What kind of hunting were you doing?
I had 3 rabbits hanging off my belt at the time. I had my 410 with me, but I didn't have any rounds for it.
Oh, man.
So basically, I had a 3-foot club with me. And the thing about it is, when I was just about to cross the fence because the road I was going down bordered our place, and I was just about to jump the fence and beeline it over to the house. And we had 20 acres, and we lived on the house was on the opposite side of the road. Okay, so I had to cross the pastures to get home. So I was just about to cross over the fence and take the shortcut, and that's when this thing come out. And I don't know, and I've said this a lot, but I don't know what happened. I don't know if I woke him up, if I startled him, if he was already running. I really don't know, but he busted out of the brush on the left side, on the side of the road, and just dove over our. We had a 5-strand barbed wire fence, was about 5 feet tall, and he dove over that. He didn't hurdle it. He didn't, he dove over it. And then when he hit the ground on the other side, he just went down to all fours. And the grass on the other side of in our pasture is what we call down here love grass, and it gets about 4 feet high. And I saw the grass move for about 15 yards, and then nothing. So,
jeez, was it when it was upright when it was on the road briefly?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it came out of the brush on the left side on 2 legs, ran across the road, and then jumped when it hit right before the fence.
Oh my goodness.
How's that eye?
That looks good. I'll tell you what, it before you started doing all the shading and stuff, that's what because it wasn't as dark.
Oh, when it's dark. Okay, well, we can fix that.
Yeah.
Or like that.
Yeah. And now that I'm looking at the ears, Larry, we can actually make them longer and turn them in towards, almost wrap them around the head.
Okay. Longer this way?
Longer up.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the top. I think you could probably go another inch or more, make them longer that way. And they just kind of wrap around the head because they were hugging his head. There you go.
That it?
There you go.
That looks scary.
There goes another chill.
I'm not laughing at you, Tex. I just it's that giggle when you see something going right.
No, I get it. Yeah, at this point, it almost looks gargoyle-ish.
Oh dear.
How about that?
Hard times. Looking at that picture while listening to Tex describe the encounter, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. I might have to actually sleep with my husband. Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
You poor thing.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, somebody else said, "Oh, you poor girl."
Is that close?
At the time I saw it, I thought it was about maybe 6.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
But I was years later. In fact, it was just about 4 years ago, maybe. I was talking to a buddy of mine at work. He'd actually had a Bigfoot experience, and we were talking about this kind of stuff, and he was asking me about this, and he goes, "Well, how tall was it?" And we were walking back towards the storage area where I work, and He says, "Well, how tall was I?" I said, "Oh, there wasn't no more tall. He wasn't taller than no more tall than that doorway." He stops and he says, "Tex, that's an 8-foot door." And it didn't even. I didn't even realize it, you know. And so evidently he was about 7.5 feet tall.
Wow.
But he was hunched over, so God knows how tall he was if he'd stood up, you know.
Are the eyes close?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go down to the nose real quick.
Okay.
Large snout. I mean, large nostrils.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, this is quite a feat, really, because it's such an unusual creature that, you know, it's. I know Larry's drawn lots of Bigfoot, but Dogman's a different thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, people will ask me about what I know about the Dogman, and I say nothing because Bigfoot takes enough of my time.
Yeah, and that is another thing, and I knew this would be a weird one for Larry to do because I know he doesn't touch Dogman, you know, like you say, he's a Bigfoot man, so this is interesting experience, and for all of us to see, you know, what you saw.
Yeah, I was telling my 7-year-old son on the way home tonight that what Papa Larry was doing tonight, and he was going to hear an account about Dogman. So he was asking me about that because I've explained Bigfoot and everything to him as well, and so he's really looking forward to getting the play-by-play tomorrow, hearing Texas story and seeing the picture.
Yeah. When you say, "Oh, I've explained everything about Bigfoot," I mean, how old's your son, and what exactly have you said?
Yeah, at 7, he probably has more. And I'm still learning too. We do our Friday show, and a lot of that is me kind of getting caught up because it was all new to me when I met Larry, and it's very interesting.
It's a fascinating subject, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So when you said Dogman, I thought, well, so I YouTubed it and watched a bunch of stories and listened to a lot of accounts and things like that. But it's one of those. It's kind of its own acre.
So some of those accounts on YouTube are so scary. I mean, all the Dogman accounts are scary. So some people think this is maybe, you know, just another kind of breed of Sasquatch, maybe, but they're totally two different personalities. They seem like, or traits. So I don't know.
What about the nose?
Yeah, it's looking, looking good.
And Larry could do a class just on shading. I'm watching this like, how do you...
What are you using, Larry? Just a pencil and what are you using?
Charcoal pencil.
Right. Okay. Has anyone else in the chat seen a Dogman, and is this kind of resonating with you?
Now, I will say this: his nose was crinkled up, like, you know, when they snarl, when the dog snarls, you know.
Oh, okay.
So.
Thanks, Cheese Freak. That's a nice. You got the best audience.
They're great.
It's fun when it starts to see everybody kind of greeting each other, and you can tell everybody enjoys. It's a nice community.
Everybody in the chat is brilliant. Honestly, everybody. We have a great community here and subscribers. You know, also, you know, I know there's like 27% of you that are watching that aren't even subscribed to my channel. So, you know, if you like what you're seeing, you need to log in and subscribe.
Yeah, and you can get notifications whenever Daniela decides or does her shows, and if you do a pop-up show, you get notified right away.
Yeah, I'll be doing all the updates every night for the Bigfoot Odyssey expedition. So you'll all have to tune in for those. That's going to be interesting. We'll get Kerry live from the, wherever they're at the time each night and get an update on how they've got on. And hopefully, it'll all go to plan this time and they'll capture something interesting.
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
Hey, Larry.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're doing this because of the way you do the drawing.
Yeah.
The lines coming from the inside of the eyes going down to the nose.
Yeah.
They're right about midway till they start to curve, but they should go towards the middle of the eye.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so kind of V's out.
Found warmth. Never heard of it. Put quite like that, but maybe they could.
About here.
Oh, found warmth. Yeah, that's a very.
Oh.
Like that.
Yes.
See, I would think that phrase would have originated in England somewhere.
DOGMAN.
Because it's the found warmth.
Found warmth. Sorry.
Speaking about originating in England, I'm curious. How did England conquer most of the known world, but never learn to cook?
Oh no!
I've no idea. I've absolutely no idea. Tex.
They were always on the road. They didn't have a kitchen.
Someone who, you've got to remember. I was born in England, but my parents were foreign. My mum was Polish and my dad's Sicilian. So,
well, you had.
So you had great food.
I said this to Jason the other night. If Jason's parents had him, if he was born in India, would he be Indian?
Oh yeah.
How's that snout there, Tex?
Yeah.
But now, I assume that the snout had very small amount of hair on it. Fur.
Yeah. It wasn't long. It was just kind of covered in,
Okay.
I've been brought up with some good Sicilian cooking and Polish food.
Ooh, yummy.
So, but some English dishes are great. But I've just been brought up with foreign stuff.
Yeah, I just thought I'd give you a hard time. That was.
Yeah, well, someone has to.
It's kind of it's kind of a notorious what do you call it thing about England and the food.
Yeah, stereotype.
Yeah, stereotype. Notorious. Yeah, stereotype. Exactly.
Like I have tea.
Is that accurate?
Yes.
I have tea every day at 2:00 in the afternoon with cucumber sandwiches.
Oh, so you're English, and do you make Sunday gravy?
Sunday gravy.
Yeah, the sauce on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, gravy was roast on a Sunday.
Ah,
Sunday roast.
I always thought it was funny the difference between what the Italians call gravy and what Southern folks call gravy.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Well, spaghetti sauce is sauce to us, and they call it gravy.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they make the sauce for the week.
Yeah.
How's that muzzle?
Very good.
Are you getting the shivers again?
Yeah, a little bit.
Coming to life. That water, the noise of that water is almost therapeutic.
Yeah.
A little bit like a
Yeah, I got to tell you, it helps.
Yeah.
Honestly, in the background, that's
Oh,
when you're doing something like this, and you're basically reliving painstakingly, detail by detail, a traumatizing event. That's I think that's almost a necessity in the background.
It's good that it didn't happen near a creek, because then it might amplify your anxiety.
Now that was the second encounter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
you know what that water does to me?
Yeah. I'll let somebody else guess.
You can go anytime you need to, Larry.
Yeah.
I should have brought a bucket in here.
Like, what's that other water sound? Okay, that was too much.
Yeah, a little bit too much
I
there.
don't know why I felt like I
Save
needed
that for your own show.
See that for potty humor with Mark. Talks in English accent and does potty humor.
Thank you very much, Flyby Stew. I appreciate that.
Outstanding.
Yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
Something different.
All right, how we doing, Tex?
We're doing good. And he had like almost, I don't want to say tufts of hair because that's wrong. But see how my beard is right here? You know, kind of right here on the cheek.
Yeah.
It was a couple inches long, hanging down, just but not thick. Just you know,
Let
Hang
me
on,
see.
I'll pick you up.
Okay,
Like
show me
strands?
again.
Try again.
from right here.
Yeah.
You know, but it wasn't as thick as my beard. You could see the jawline underneath. You know,
Oh, okay.
and he had the
Have
same
we got the
thing.
jaw right, though?
Yeah, he had the same thing along his jawline too. Just thin hair hanging down off his jawline about that long, about this long actually. But you could see the jawline underneath.
Okay.
I need to try and work this out, how I can get it a bigger, Larry bigger on the screen and all of us down the side, but I'll have to experiment with that.
Like the Brady Bunch?
Yeah, a little bit.
There should be an option down there that puts everybody on the side and makes his not this big, but a little bit bigger.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to suss out without giving everybody, strobe lightning kind of effect of on and off and off. Oh, thank you very much, Murray F. I appreciate that. I'm going to have a coffee with that.
Excellent.
No, biscuits and gravy just does not. No, I'm feeling ill at the thought of, because our biscuits are sweet like biscuits.
Oh, that's
Don't
right.
put them with gravy. So it's just a
And
mistake.
in some
kind of
parts
bit.
of the country, they call it by another name that makes it even sound less appetizing.
Oh, right. What, in England? In England?
What's that?
What?
No,
over
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Right.
It's SOS, but it's something on a shingle.
Okay.
Stuff on a
Gravy,
shingle.
yeah, yeah. Gravy over toast.
Sausage gravy over toast.
Sausage gravy over toast. Okay, yeah.
Pig, demon, monkey, nose, gargoyle. See many things actually. It just looks really evil. It does. Hanging with honey.
And see, I didn't get that. I didn't. That's another thing. A lot of people ask me, what kind of vibe I got from it. Was it evil? And no, it just was like, just scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Chipped beef gravy. How do you do that? Like chisel bits off it, and then.
Yeah.
chisel bits off the beef.
Yeah.
It's like just chipped. I don't know. Oh, two of them. It must be popular, chipped beef and gravy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cream chip
basically,
bacon.
it's little thin squares, of shards of beef, shredded beef, but it's cubed kind of. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they salt in the can too.
Yeah.
Mm.
I heard that's the healthiest way to eat it, right out of the can.
Oh yeah. You don't even want to warm it up. You just suck it down like a drink.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's
Or you
freeze.
can kill it a little bit and just eat it in chunks like off the spoon.
Do you mean minced? Is it minced as well? Ray, do you mean like minced beef?
Yeah, I guess so. I've never had a mincemeat pie, so I don't know what. It's almost like if you took a piece of real thin ham and just cut it up in little squares.
Yeah, that's a good description of it. Yeah. Cooked almost to like a bacon consistency.
Right.
There's some swear Joe. Did I miss? I must have missed that.
Swear jar?
I don't think
swear
anyone's
jar.
don't think anyone's been bad tonight, including me.
I said HE double hockey sticks.
Uh-oh.
Oh right, what's a tenner then? $10 tax.
I alluded to the SH word. I think that's
Oh
probably
well,
a good
that's
time.
$5 then.
$5 for alluding?
Well, you know, you're putting it into people's minds, aren't you? And
It's just sneaky.
it's the same thing. Yeah.
Who was it?
That should actually be a double sign that.
I was going to
I
say,
appreciate Murray covering my swear.
How did mine go from 10 to his being only 5? I think it's showing
Got you.
favoritism.
Look, just try and get what I can.
Oh, for
How
the
we doing,
JC
Dad?
word.
Oh,
Okay,
that's not swearing. That's not, the swear jar is really for those bad words like, thank you. No, it isn't. You're right. It's not. I'm talking about the really, I can't say it, obviously, because I can't afford to put my own money in there. But
Oh, Cheese Freak Ginger Snap is a musical theater fan, quoting Sweeney Todd.
oh,
Or referencing Sweeney Todd. That's right, and that's in England too.
I'll put it in here in a little bit.
well, strange. You did say the S word before. I saw it. I see everything. I see everything.
215 Canadian. That's hilarious.
Actually, the pound is really, good.
Flourishing?
Yeah, against the Canadian dollar, yeah.
It's like,
A
you
lot
would
of
call it
Canadian dollar-
Britcoin?
No, that's not Bitcoin.
Britcoin.
Pounds. Pounds and pence.
You guys don't use sterling anymore?
Oh dear. Well, apologies to the Nephilim if they're watching. I don't think they are.
This main starts here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How far above the eyes, Tex?
Oh, a little, about, see where the ears come into the head, but pretty much on your right side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much where his hairline was, because his hair, like I said, went over his head, but was behind the ears. You know what I'm saying? Mullet like, I guess.
Like Danny Zuko?
It was the '80s when I saw it, so
It was just being trendy.
right.
Oh, shit. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
There it is.
there we go.
Cling, 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 cling. Oh, we need sound effects.
I do have some, but I haven't got the thing one. I have to get that on my machine.
Bugger is oh.
Cha-ching.
Is that a really bad word in England?
Not. It depends how you use it, but generally, if you just like stub your toe and you go bugger, you're not really. But there's,
If you tell somebody to off, it's like
no, bugger off. That's not really
Oh.
a bad word. It's the other
I
word.
thought bugger off
that
was a replacement for the F-bomb.
Not really. Well, it's a politer term, but I guess in reality, what it actually means isn't that polite. It's yeah, you wouldn't really be that offended by it. Maybe you would. Oh, I don't know. Depends. I don't know.
What does bullocks mean?
Bollock.
that's the part of the bowl that they take off to make them
Yeah.
less.
That's your your bits, your veg and stuff.
Your meat in 2 bits.
Yeah,
Oh,
your
is that
two
what it
bits.
is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was another word for shite.
No. Let's do this. Let's do like these lessons, English lessons, things after the show.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't think you're going to afford to.
Oh, Strangeland owes you something for poopy.
Is that close to the way the hair was on the top there?
Yeah, but it wasn't. It went like it covered from ear to ear.
Okay, all right.
And it didn't spike up. It went it was long and went over his head.
Oh,
Comb back down the back.
And kind of Werewolves of London. His hair was perfect.
Bloody isn't bad, is it? Just think about it, really. It's those big words, words that you're not going to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say, but.
Well, I'll be right back. I have to go to the powder room and tinkle.
Okay. Or I guess Danielle is host. It's the turtles that make everybody have to tinkle.
Oh, the turtles, yeah.
The wee turtles.
Yeah, I think you need swear jar. Maybe a few swear jars for different kind of levels of
We need a chart.
Yeah, a chart, definitely, and then we can cover all bases. Then
And then you're gonna have to hire a mod.
we've got mods in tonight.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm not gonna put that comment.
Paper cuss. Oh, new member. You got a new member,
Oh, Catherine, thank you. Thank you for joining. Catherine Dale. Paper cuss, yeah, but depends what a cuss is, isn't it? And I think it should be in.
Yeah, and is it because some things may not sound as bad in the U.S., but they are in the U.K. So then you got to go by who's.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you turn the peace sign around, it's an insult.
Oh, is it? Upside down. It's like a reverse peace sign. So it's 3 points going up.
Yeah, no,
if you don't have any grandkids, then
palm forward is peace.
Well,
palm to you is an insult.
Oh, gotcha. Turn it around. You mean with your finger? I thought you meant like the circle with the symbol in it.
No,
gotcha.
No. With
your fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that the one they used to use? Because what they would do, here's the one thing I heard, was when they used to catch archers back in the wars, and this is probably from England, they probably did this. They would cut off one of their fingers so they couldn't draw their bow anymore. So what the archers would do is show that they still had their 2 drawing fingers, and that's where that came from.
Right.
Not sure if that's true, but I like that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which bit?
Oh yeah, which part? I like stories about people having fingers cut off.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it seems, a bit of effort, isn't it? So, I don't know.
I bodyguarded for James Doohan one time, and a lot of people don't realize he's missing a finger, or he was missing a finger.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow, Rob. Thank you so much.
How are we doing?
Cheers to you.
Generous, yeah. Cheers to you too.
How are we doing, Tex?
Doing good. The hair was, like I said, I mean, it was very, very long, and you could actually see it between. Yeah.
JCL Ohio, do you think Warren Zevon saw something to inspire Werewolves of London? Don't know. Do you know, Mark?
I don't know. Doesn't he talk about seeing Lon Chaney walking with a cane?
Yeah, the Queen, yeah.
Walking with the Queen, yeah, with the Queen.
Him and Lon Chaney Jr.
Yeah. Doing the Werewolves of London. Yeah, that's a good song. Ooh.
I feel like I'm taking too long.
You're doing just fine as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Did it work? Colette Millette, who went to St. Bernadette's.
Oh, did what work?
I'm not sure.
Oh, let me go back up there.
I think if it's what I think it is, then it did. But
Oh, darn.
Well, the swear jar works.
Yeah,
Daniel says to cut off things that people in Japan. I think so. They couldn't use the samurai store. It was the Yakuza.
Oh.
We'll have to look that up. And
There's a really good documentary on Netflix right now about the samurai and the feudal Japan. If anyone's interested.
Huh?
They were brutal.
Question for your text from Leon. Text, did the hair on top go up like a sagittal crest?
It was a little poofier on top, but I don't think it had a sagittal crest because it was more, there wasn't no, it didn't look like he had a cone head. It was just, rounded.
Mm.
I know a lot of people are good. I've you just saw a type of Bigfoot. I don't know. You don't get it. No, I didn't.
Mm. I don't get chips now, flyby stew. I just get fish and peas. Because they always give you too many chips anyway. But I like just fish and peas. Or sometimes I get fish and rice.
Is that the mushy peas?
The mushy peas, yeah. Mushy
and
peas.
The chips, you guys, they cut the chips thicker out there, right?
Yeah. We have fries like McDonald's fries, but we also have chips which are much thicker and can go really thick as well. And our crisps are what you call chips.
Oh yeah, crisps. That's right.
Yeah. Don't know why.
It's a better description, really.
The whole Bigfoot thing, this being a possible one, is the canine as it looked and moved, and the feet. He didn't have. I wouldn't call him backwards facing legs, but he had really long feet, and he was up on his toes.
Mm.
So you could almost mistake the heel for,
The elbow.
almost a hawk. But
There is a slight John Travolta look to this, isn't there? Just ever so slightly. You can see it. But the red. Long time no see. Fingers being cut off. Arch is absolutely true. Hi to all. Sorry, it went on for a wee while. I had to get some reading glasses. I have to get some as well. My vision is terrible.
We have confirmation on my definition of that. The reason that symbol is. So I'm gonna go ahead and count it as fact.
there you go.
It's art. It comes back to archers.
Mm,
It's okay. Can I confirm a fact on your show, Danielle? Can I make it?
absolutely. If you know it's true.
Well, two of us agree.
Well, there you go. It must be true. Shall I look it up? Just
You'll just get my blog where I wrote about it.
Oh, you wrote a blog about it.
Oh.
Yes.
A weekly series on.
Oh, Welsh archers, particularly those from Monmouth, were considered to be the best in the world. So when the French captured the Welsh archer, they simply cut off the first two fingers of the hand that drew the bow swords. It's the first two fingers.
Ah.
And then sent the mutilated archer back to the English forces, where such wounded men would be useless.
Yikes.
So that's where the middle finger gesture comes from, not the two finger, but the middle finger.
Ah.
See?
It's like you didn't get them both.
What do you think, Tex?
Yeah, the way you're doing the hair is great, and that went along the jawline, but not the chin too,
Okay.
or the
Like
lower
pork chops?
jawline, not the chin.
Okay.
I'm glad you found me, Catherine.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer.
On the chin or on the jawline?
Yeah, hanging down off the jawline.
Yeah, I have to like on my size of the text on my phone is ridiculous to be able to see. Oh, almost looks like a female squatch. There's Gary. What about the nose though, Gary? The snout.
Mm-hmm.
That's more like it, Tex.
Yeah, that's more like it.
I don't really think you'd be in any state to do it, would you though? Once you've had your fingers cut off. Pretty
Yeah.
sure you'd be.
I would retire from archery. Like,
I
what if
think
they
you have
catch
the
me?
same strength. It takes you a
You
while.
can make the canines, the upper and the lower canines, a little longer and sharper.
Okay.
That's really come together though, hasn't it?
Like that.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Yeah, this is cool to see it all come together.
Mm.
Oh, somebody just asked. Oh,
Sorry, I'll just do it. Meredith, the S word, I say sugar, honey, iced tea. When my children growing up, I found it coming out my mouth in front of my grandchildren and not the S word. What do you say in front of your kids, Mark, before you actually say it? Or
oh,
are you
just
quite
the
good?
real word usually. No,
Oh.
I know. Just try to figure out something. Actually, I'm trying to think if I've ever said sugar. I don't think I've ever said sugar.
Mm.
But that's a good one. I'm gonna move over to that one. Fiddlesticks?
Mm. Oh, because, yeah, British do that.
I will have to say, 68 years on this planet, I have never said fiddlesticks.
And you played the fiddle. That's the weirdest part.
Yeah.
But what are fiddlesticks? Are there actual sticks for fiddles?
The bow, I think.
The sticks you play with.
Oh, it's the bow, is it?
Or the sticks people hit you with when you start playing it.
Text. Was their
Yeah.
skin visually noticeable, or was it like peach
No,
fuzz?
you could see the skin. It was dark.
Mm. Where did you see this text? Hanging in with honey's asking.
North Texas,
North Texas.
North Central Texas.
Okay. There you go. In that area.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people are missing is the front view. They're not realizing just how elongated and canine and wide gaping the mouth was. If you really, really, look at a dog with a longer snout and how wide their mouth can open, that's what I was seeing. So, it's, head on, I can see where they're getting squatched, but I'm telling you, it wasn't. I wish it had been a squatch. I wish it had been a squatch, but it was not.
Matt's asking, is the mouth too wide, Tex? Seems like it would fade back with the snout.
Well, that's just it. It's not really wide per se. It was. You have to keep in mind a dog's mouth.
Yeah.
It goes. It's as long as the snout is. You know what I'm saying?
It might look a bit narrow. It might have looked a bit narrower
Right.
at the back. At the back. I mean, that doesn't look like it.
At least it didn't like have blood dripping out of its mouth or something.
Hanging with honey asked, Tex, did it make a sound like a growl or something?
Oh yeah. Very deep guttural growl. A lot of people say, well, it's maybe it was a skinwalker or something of that like. I don't know. It could have been. Who knows? I just know what I saw.
Mm. This is interesting. There's no canine that has skin around its eyes and jaw.
Right.
I mean, we use the term dogman because it's what it looks like, isn't it? I guess it's not necessarily.
Right.
Is it a dog? You know.
Larry, I got, man, that's really, really close. It really is. Aside from the hair on the head, I mean, it was really, I mean, it was really came back big as a mane, almost like a 80s hairdo, the big hair.
Yeah.
But what was weird is the way it came off the head, and then off the shoulders, and then it narrowed down its back. You know, almost like a V down its back. So the rest of the body was covered in the real short hair and the occasional straggly hair that were drawn here. And I can remember that hair about 6 inches long, not real thick, but hanging off its forearm,
Yeah.
and off its thighs, and stuff. But you could see the muscles and everything underneath.
Larry asks, what was the shoulders like, wide or narrow?
It had they were broad shoulders, human-like shoulders, and the chest was really deep and like a dog's chest. You know how deep the dog's chest is, and it goes down to narrow hips, and then the legs were massive. And the hands were human-like. I mean, they had claws on them, but not like it was, not like 6-inch claws. It was just like long fingernails. But they looked thick and curved.
Samuel can be within feet of a giant 12+ foot squid while surfing. I was 60. I remember as a kid being told, about there's giant turtles in the sea. I mean, there is massive stuff in there, isn't there? That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, sea turtles can get very big.
Yeah, but squid as well. There's some big stuff out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm scared of going actually in the sea. Just don't know what.
I'm sorry.
She said she's talking about massive turtles, and she was scared to go in the sea of them. So she's scared of Larry's turtles.
It's not. It's just the other little bits that are swimming around, and you just don't know, do you?
Yeah. Especially in the dark water, you don't know what's looking up.
No.
When you catch these giant turtles in the freshwater, you know how you do that, don't you?
No.
Well, like down there where Tex lives in Louisiana, you go out in a boat and you take a long wooden pole with you and you feel the bottom. And when you feel something that feels like a rock, then you push the pole down. And if the rock should move, then you know that's a turtle.
All right.
So then you jump in the water and you feel with your hands. And hopefully, if you're good at it, you won't grab the snout.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's
the tin snips they have for snouts.
Yeah, no idea what's out there. Weird stuff. Were the legs the same length? You mentioned they were thick and the front ones curled. Fingers?
It was human-like hands, but no, the legs and the arms were different. It was more human-like.
Mm. Was it? Were you scared? Was it frightening you, or were you just scared? Was it just? Oh, you said it snarled at you, did it?
Yeah, it threw me in a state of shock because I walked the rest of the way home. I had a choice, but there was the path it took. Like I said, I was fixing to take the same path it did to the house, and there was a road. The road I was on went up and teed into another road, and that road went across the front of our place, and our driveway was on the opposite side. So I had two choices. I could either follow it, which I really didn't want to do, into the tall grass, or I could walk the road. And I figured, I mean, I know it sounds like a lot to process, but it was split second. It's like, oh, I ain't going there, So I took the road because I just felt safer. And pretty much the whole walk is a blur. But I know when I got home, I walked in the back door, and my mom always had this thing about no guns in the kitchen. It was just one of her rules. And I remember coming in the back door, walking in the hallway, pretty much just collapsed into a kitchen chair and put my gun on the table. And she was in the kitchen. She was washing dishes, cooking. I don't remember what she was doing. And I think she turned around. I think she was fixing to scold me for the gun. And she goes, "Oh my God, you're white as a sheet. What's wrong with you?" And I tried to tell her, but I couldn't speak. And my sister lived on the same property about 25, 40 yards away from us. She called her. She came over, and it took them both talking to me, trying to calm me down, about almost an hour before I could tell them what had happened. I just remember I was just in shock.
Yeah.
And for about 6 months afterwards, I really didn't leave the area from around the house. I just I didn't even venture out really into the pastures unless I absolutely had to. But I didn't hunt, I didn't fish, I didn't camp, I didn't do nothing. And after a while, and the thing about it is, and what this goes back to really, I think is as a young kid, and I know this is not a Me Too thing. It's just as a young child in elementary school, I was bullied a lot. And as I grew up and I found out I could actually take care of myself. And I started fighting back. From that point on, I just despised bullying to this day. And that's what it felt like to me, was I was being bullied. This thing was not allowing me to do what I love to do. I finally just got fed up with it, and I stopped going. And I started going. And I didn't have any, because I was anxious, and I just, went out a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further, stayed a little longer. And I finally almost got back into what I was doing normally. And then I had the second encounter, which I think was this thing, but I didn't see it, so I don't know. But in that encounter, I was going over to this place I used to hunt a lot, and I was just about to jump the fence and go into these really, really dense trees, these woods. And you had to travel the game trail because it was so thick. And I mean, sometimes you'd be down on your hands and knees and squatting and going, ducking under brush and stuff. But it was really cool because it was so thick. And then it would open up into these clearings, anywhere from the size just enough to pitch a tent or almost as big as a footprint of a house. And So it was, and the clearings were just had like prairie grass, maybe a foot tall, maybe less, and maybe an occasional scrub tree. But it was just an awesome freaking area. But anyway, I was fixing to jump the fence and go into the trees, go into these woods, and I heard something walking in the trees. And I hollered out because there was a set of twins that I knew that lived on the other side of these that hunted the same area. And I hollered out, "Hey, is somebody out there?" And it stopped. And it was like, "Hey, if that's one of y'all out there, let me know." And I heard it shift its weight or take a step, And then it was, I said, "Look, if you don't say something, I'm going to shoot." And it shifted its weight again. So I popped a round off up in the air, and it sounded like, all hell broke loose. It was just crashing trees and branches and coming towards me. And I didn't even wait, man. I turned around and tucked tail and I ran the whole way to the house. Never looked back. Because when this thing started, when I heard this thing and it wouldn't answer me and all this kind of stuff, I started going back and getting, of course I was getting scared again because I'd already encountered this thing. And, it didn't get me the first time, but, here I am pressing my luck. But yeah, I ran all the way back to the house. It didn't take me as long to get back to doing what I was doing that time because I wasn't going to let it. Now, I'm not saying I wasn't scared. I was scared to death, but I always took bigger and extra ammo with me. I didn't know if that was going to help, but, I felt safer. And then after talking to some people years later, after I got into the whole YouTube thing, watching the videos, not being on YouTube, but watching the videos and listening to people, and I got to talk to a few people, and events that took place before I had this encounter kind of leans towards this thing was in the area a long time. We had a dog come up missing, and the only way we found him is we started smelling him, and he was under the house. Well, Dad's not going to go get him, so I had to crawl under the house. So I crawled under the house and I drug him out, and honest to God, it looked like somebody held him up by his front legs and just gutted him. And so, and like I said, years later, after hearing stories and talking to people, these dog men, for some reason, have a tendency to throw dogs and carcasses underneath buildings. I don't know why, but it is a pattern that we see. So, and then I found, and we were always getting reports. There were always reports of, a foal come up missing, a newborn calf coming up missing, somebody's dog got tore up, something like that. Somebody, chickens, all that kind of stuff, which all mirrors squatch activity. But you got to remember, these things are also an apex predator, just like the squatch. And so, can I count it all towards this dog man, whatever it was? No, it could have been a squatch. It could have been just normal predators. But we would hear, it was a pack of wild dogs, or it was a big cat, because we would have the big cat come through the area every so often because they had such a huge territory that they make their rounds. It'd be months before they get back in the area. But you would always hear, that there's a pack of wild dogs running around tearing stuff up. They're big old dogs running around. Maybe not, but but I did come across a pasture that bordered this place that I hunted. As a kid, I'm all over the place, and you had the run of thousands of acres because we knew all our neighbors. And you got to remember, where I live, my closest neighbor is probably half a mile away. So it was, somewhat secluded area. But there was, we had a small place. It was the 20 acres, and that was considered a small place. Now, there's other ranches and stuff. They would have, I'm sorry, guys.
How close is that?
It's damn close. Damn close. But anyway.
Let me make it better.
That's Larry. I just don't even want to look at it, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna tweak it.
I really, honest to God, did not think I would feel this way. I thought it would be almost a fun thing to do, therapeutic thing to do. It's
not.
But I've never had to go into detail, and have it, watch it basically come to life. And that's real. And his depiction is very, very close. It's not spot on. I don't think I'll ever see anything that is spot on. But
is it close as anybody's done it?
Yes, it is the closest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, good. Well, let's make it even better. Hold on.
His mane was big. It was,
this way?
Yeah.
Up on his head.
Yeah.
On the top of his head. There's more height.
You're muted, Mark.
Oh, you missed all my great. No, the way it came off the top of the head, right? So it went higher.
Yeah.
Off the top when it came back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry it hasn't been as maybe therapeutic as maybe I thought.
No, I think in a way it is, because I've never had to sit down and deal with it at this level. I've told the stories. I've told the story 100 times, probably more. But
this brings it to life, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's different. It brings up a different range of emotions, because there's still that fear. I've learned to deal with it. Luckily, because me, everybody in this community that is doing this platform, we do it. Main reason I think is to help people. And I've taken so many accounts and I've talked to so many people that they've encountered this or a swatch or something else. They'll never go back in the woods again. That part of their life is gone. And I consider myself so lucky that I was able to push through that. I'm not saying I'm special or nothing like that. I was just one of the lucky ones that was able to keep doing this. And I get scolded a lot for doing, having the interactions that or the encounters that I've had and doing what I do the way I do it. Because I investigate solo and a lot of my stuff is done at night. So, and I don't go armed. So am I taking a chance? Yes and no. Because I think these creatures, both creatures, have a level of intelligence that they know your intention. They might know exactly, he's going to shoot me. They know, I think, good and bad. And I try to go out with purest intentions that I can. I don't want to put one of these on the wall. But I've said before that if it was a rogue one and I knew it was a rogue one and I had a shot at it from at least 100 yards away, I'd put it down. Bigfoot at DOGMAN 81. I'm going to hit the off switch on it.
What now? Is that better?
Yeah.
More?
Actually, yeah. I mean, it's way up. But and the thing about it is, it went down, and I wish we could do a full body sketch. I mean that's a
Maybe another time.
show.
Maybe another time. Maybe another time. A side profile, or kind of on an angle.
Because every time I draw it, I draw the whole thing. You know, I mean, it's like, well, here you go. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can you email that? Have you got it on an image?
No, I got it on a piece of paper. And it's a horrible drawing. But
it's not, you did the musculature and stuff.
Yeah. Can you take a photo, take a photograph and send it me? Email me it, and then we'll put it
I'll
on.
do that.
I'll just put a link in the chat. I'll do it again now. This is Larry's Facebook. If you go over there and add him, send him a friend request. And Mark, what are you doing on Larry's channel, Facebook? You've got all sorts of stuff going on, haven't you?
Yeah, he's I'm now part of the Wednesday nights we do Talking Animals, where we go through the 40 plus years of experiences Larry's had with wildlife education, and we just kind of go through down memory lane. He's got just amazing stories regarding all the years of doing on television, going on Johnny Carson, taking animals for Jim Fowler, and then all the local stuff he did, and the school programs he did has done for 40 years. And then Friday nights, he actually pulled me in to the to be on his Talking Bigfoot show, where over Larry 40 years of research there too as well, right, with interviewing and firsthand
really
stories.
Longer than that even. Yeah.
How's that looking, Tex?
Blow it up when you read, please.
Hang on.
That's, yeah.
More hair?
Well, I mean, if you took it down, around, like, down, it went all the way, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah. Behind its ears and everything.
Yeah. But like I said, if we did a full body pic, you would really get the idea of it, because it was like a mane that went all the way down its back, almost to its butt,
Right.
So what kind of like the trap, is this the trapped muscles from the ears, bottom of the ears to the shoulders?
Right. It was, and they were big, but they weren't like a gorilla, where me and Danielle had this conversation where, Bigfoot, a lot of people talk about Bigfoot having these big, almost, no neck. And it would almost make it hard for them to turn their head. It wasn't that big, but they were pronounced.
Better?
Gene says the mane runs almost into the tail.
If it had a tail, and that's one strange thing about it. I can't remember if it had a tail or not, but when I draw it, I never draw it with a tail.
Oh.
I tried drawing it with a tail one time, and it just didn't look right. So I don't think it had a tail.
Okay.
But yeah, he's right. It goes almost, all the way down and comes down to like a V down the back.
More hair?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Larry.
That's all right.
And that's the only part of this thing that was, I guess you call it woolly, Yeah. See, now you're getting
again to Tex's channel, Trinity Paracryptid. Go and check out Tex. You're doing a few things, aren't you? Brunch. I'm going to be actually co-hosting next week on Tex's channel. So come and check me out. We're doing it with Rob.
Yep.
And we're gonna have Brent on from Paranormal Portal. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's gonna. I'm sorry, I'm missing it. I'm kind of jealous of you, but
Yeah.
it's. I'll have to comfort myself when I'm down there saltwater fishing. So.
Well,
I may have to. I may have to have. I may have to have an extra beer just to comfort myself. You know.
Oh, you
If you
poor
have to.
bastard.
Uh-oh, cling, cling.
Oh,
No, cling, cling.
hey, I'm rich tonight.
I lost control.
Uh,
But I emailed you that picture, Danielle.
have you sent it? Oh, right. Sorry. Let me have a look now.
Okay.
What have I done? Right.
How's that, Tex?
Yeah. Hey, bring the hair down where it's going down.
Here?
Longer. Yeah, and out.
So you could see it coming down onto the shoulders, like as if it was a long head of hair.
Right.
You could see where it went.
Yeah, it went down onto the shoulders, but then down the back.
Gotcha.
It wasn't. I say it was mane-like, but it didn't come around the chest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I also later in the year talking to people. These things are often depicted. You know, they just a lot of people describe it as a mane, but it's more of a. They say, I don't know how they know this, but they say it's more of a muscled hump like a grizzly or a bison has.
Oh,
You know, between their shoulders. I don't know. This just looked like a bunch of hair, but it was, you know.
Are we closed now?
Yes.
I've just brushed it up a bit to maybe see it a little bit better. Hang on.
Larry, honestly, that's the best I've ever seen.
Oh, that makes me feel good.
yeah, not bad for your first DOGMAN, Larry.
Good.
That's tricky.
This is Tex's drawing.
You're not giving yourself enough credit there, Tex. That's really good. That musculature is right on.
Thank you.
Does you can see it in the legs?
Yeah, the freaking legs were massive.
The arms as well. Big chest.
Yeah, he had a very deep chest, narrow hips. The glutes were huge. The thighs were huge. You know, he was just. I mean, he was big, but he was. I mean, he was massive, but he was more cut than anything. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm on a tweaking.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I was talking about, you know, the stuff that that happened around the area. I was in this pasture that was right next to a pond that fed a creek that wasn't wet all the time, and that ran into the area that I had this encounter and all this, the second encounter. When I was in these people used to own this property that backed up to this pond or tank, however you want to call it, that bordered this place over here, the wood. They used to keep horses there. They didn't really live there. They had They had a camper. They moved on. They would come out every weekend, ride their horses, whatever. And they had several horses. And after they moved off, they just up and moved. They took everything just moved. And I came upon a horse skeleton. I was roaming around their land because I didn't know them. But after they moved, free game, So I'm rummaging around. And what's cool about the place that I grew up, there was arrowheads and all kinds of stuff you could find, fossils, all kinds of stuff. So, you're just a kid. You're out looking for that crap, Or you could be wandering around just looking for nothing, But I came across this horse skeleton, and this was the first time that as a researcher now looking back, this is not the first time that a horse skeleton has been found this way. It was bleached bones and a little bit of hide, but it wasn't scattered like it had, a lot of predation had taken place, because when predators get a hold of, especially like a pack of coyotes, they're going to drag bones off, and stuff like that. There was it was almost an intact skeleton. Why would something die like that and not be treated like any other thing that died? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that didn't occur to me then. I just thought it was cool to have a horse skeleton in a rock garden at the house. Or a skull. I took the skull. So, but talking to people, several years ago, one of them brought up the fact that was possibly, in her opinion, a kill site. And that's why it didn't get, tore up and scattered like it would have normally.
None of the animals would mess with it.
Right. Now, I ran into a gentleman when I was up in New Mexico just a few years ago, about 2 years ago, that was going across country camping in the national parks, state parks, and just kind of making his way across the country. And I talked to him, he told him I was from Texas and blah, blah, blah. He goes, I was down in that area a few months ago. He says, can you answer a question for me? I said, sure, shoot, man. He said, do y'all have any odd owl species that that you normally wouldn't run into? And I said, no. I said, pretty much, I don't know of any odd ones, that they don't have anywhere else. I said, why? He said, man, I kept hearing these, I can't remember what park he was staying in. It was southeast Texas. I know that, maybe it was Caddo. But because I kept hearing these owl sounds, and he said, for lack of a better term, they sounded mentally retarded. And I said, really? And I wasn't wearing any of my Bigfoot stuff or anything, my shirt or nothing like that. So, and he didn't know I was into this stuff or nothing. So it never got mentioned. And I'm sorry, Larry, I've got my hat dipped down. I'm not on purpose because I don't want to look at it. But I'll take a look here in a minute because I don't want to break my train of thought. But anyway, and that was really odd because in research in squats, you hear that a lot. And even being out in the field, you'll hear what sounds like an owl, but it's not really, doesn't really sound like an owl, And I have a theory that because these things are, they mimic things and supposedly and all that kind of stuff. And I think they do for communication reasons.
Yeah.
And I think what we're hearing when we hear the owl calls, they're not quite right. I think it's the juveniles practicing.
Oh. It's an easy sound to try to mimic. That makes sense.
And they don't have it down quite right yet, And I think that's just a theory of mine.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was asking me about that, and I was like, and inside, and I'm kind of smiling to myself. I'm like, oh, really, And I didn't want to tell the guy that, well, you got squatch around you. And then he starts telling me about the day before he was up hiking on the mountain, and about a mile and a half where his camp was, he found a dead horse. And they've got wild horses that roam up and down the mountain all the time. In fact, that's why we were pulled over where we were. We were watching the wild horses. And he goes, I found a dead horse, basically a skeleton, just a little bit of hide. He said, with a broken leg up there on the trail. I said, okay. I said, that's not how, you got, and I'm looking around these horses, and they've got young foals with them at the time. I said, well, that's not out of the norm, I wouldn't think, young horse stumbles, breaks its leg, because once a horse breaks its leg, it's pretty much done.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, their lower legs are not, they step in a hole, it's pretty easy to snap. He goes, no. The femur was broke. And I'm like, the femur was broke. I said, well, was it like, yeah. I said, well, were there any teeth marks on it? Was it chewed on? Maybe they, the predator, crunched it in half, maybe. But you got wolves, you got bears in the territory, so that's not out of the realm. He said, but what was weird is that I said, well, how scattered was it? He goes, it wasn't. He said, it was pretty much intact. I said, okay. I said, well, there's big cats in the area, there's wolves in the area. I tried to write it off as that. I said, I'll just, be cautious, your big predator in the area and watch yourself. But, internally I'm going, it takes a hell of a lot to break a horse's femur, and I specifically asked him if there was any teeth marks on it. He says, no, because I looked. He said, there wasn't a tooth mark on this thing. And so, and that's an active area up there anyway. I've got another account from there. I call it Bigfoot Road Rage. This Bigfoot came out of the trees. There was a car wreck on a mountain road up there, and they kind of sideswiped each other. And they got out to see if everybody was okay and everything. And this Squatch runs out of the trees, screams, slams his fist down on the hood of the car, and then runs off. And it was two families, and it scared them so bad they all got back into the cars. And even when the highway department showed up, they wouldn't get out of the car. So, I mean, it's an active area. So,
yeah, I did the door, but the hood was not mine.
Yeah,
I'm not claiming that with my insurance.
All right, so
Okay.
What'd you do to it, Larry?
Well, I have.
You did something with the eyes.
No, I got to leave the studio for just a moment.
You're going to send it to me, Larry?
I'm going to send it to you here.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave the studio and I'll be back, I hope.
Okay. Oh, he's really gone. He'll be back. Someone's hanging with Honey said that's it. She's not going out camping anymore.
And that breaks my heart. I hate to hear that because, when we talk about this stuff being out there, think about it. If you've been camping and enjoying camping all your life, you've been around these creatures. These creatures have been around you since day one. They haven't got you yet. They're probably not going to. This critter had me dead to rights. There's been plenty of times I've had Squatch 15 feet from my camp that I know of. And all they did was chunk rocks at me, and I worry more about people. I would be more worried about people out there than I would these creatures.
Yeah.
Don't let these things keep you from doing what you've been doing if you love doing it. There's nothing out there that hadn't been there for all your life.
Yep.
Just go about it, and I understand being a little more hesitant when you're out there, being a little anxious when you find out, what's really out there. I get that, but don't let it stop you because it's just not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're right, though. People should still enjoy doing what you're doing because, they don't really seem to want to engage, do they? Like you say,
No.
you just walk across their path at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Stay out of the woods. It's full of dog men.
And I mean, Larry, I really appreciate that. Is the closest depiction that I've ever seen.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait till you see this.
Give me a second.
I appreciate that, though, Tex. I appreciate it. That's my goal.
Larry, you have to go back through and read the comments. There's a lot of people were giving you a lot of props for your work.
Well deserved.
Oh, yeah, there was lots of great comments tonight. So, you ready, Tex?
He doesn't know.
Yeah, let's do this. Jesus.
What about that?
Clean. Yeah, that picture looks, that's a great angle and everything.
That is, yeah. Really comes together, doesn't it? When you don't see it to start with, but that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's all with your account and your
words.
Yeah, and not being afraid to say, hey, this is a little lower, or this needs to be a little wider.
How'd we do, Tex?
Too good.
Too good.
Great.
And it's so weird because it's like I've been saying, I haven't had to deal with this range of emotion, going through the account. Really since the first time I really openly talked about it. I'll be thinking about this for a long time. It's because it not only makes me relive the encounter, it makes me relive the stuff I dealt with when I came out about it. And I think it was harder than dealing with the actual encounter because, and I've said this 1,000 times, you not only get your sanity questioned by other people, you question your own sanity. Because you're seeing something that your mind's not wrapping around, that you're told all your life doesn't exist, and dadgum good and well that it does. And it shouldn't. As we know, it shouldn't. This shouldn't be possible. In the natural world, this should not be possible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it again.
Are you trying to tell me you will not be buying a print for your garage?
Actually, no. I will. I'm going to probably get one of these and hang it right back here, because honestly, the way I tend to deal with things is confronting them. That's why I do things the way I do it out in the field. Because somebody's got to, and I'm dealing with a lot more than just squatch or dogman out there. There's a lot of paranormal, unexplained stuff going on. And, I get told all the time, you're asking for trouble with the evil stuff and all this kind of stuff. But somebody's got to be willing to get in the mud and roll around with these things. I'm just one of those ones that's stupid enough to do it. The bravery ain't got a dang thing to do with it. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, and I've crossed that line on several occasions.
It becomes an addiction, though, doesn't it? This subject.
Well, what do they say? Bravery is not the absence of fear.
Yeah, it's not. It's how you deal with it.
Doing it anyway.
And the thing about it is, you're right, Daniela. 4 years ago, if you'd told me I've been sitting here on the computer with my own freaking YouTube channel talking about this stuff, with equipment that I've purchased out of my own pocket and stuff, just sitting around waiting to go in the field, and going in the field when I can, I'd have said, why would I do that? I love to fish and hunt too much. I got better things to do. But it's just now I'm going to conferences, and And hell, I've turned down 2 TV shows. It's just I'm not looking to get famous out of this. I'm not looking to get rich out of this. It's just, if I can help somebody deal with what I went through, if I can just help one person, all this is worth it. Every bit of it. You know?
And starting with yourself, it's helping you.
Well, I appreciate you going through that because of the detail, and also Larry for being able to translate that with his pencil.
That was a challenge.
Charcoal. Yeah, I knew it would be, but I knew you'd do it.
Yeah, you knocked it out of the park, brother.
Did. It was amazing.
It is in a way it's hard for me to look at, but just because it takes me back.
Yeah.
But I need that, And like I said, I've been drawing these crude pictures that I do and looking at Hollywood for something as close as I can, but seeing it come to life as I'm giving the details and it's my words are flowing through your pencils. It's a lot different. It's a whole new experience. It really is.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and do it. I mean,
thanks for coming on.
I didn't mean to take up 2 hours of people's time, but
it took me forever to draw that.
I mean, animal art class is only 25 minutes. Yeah, we're lucky. And we are at 2 hours, but I mean, it's been amazing.
I want it to be right. That's my thing. I want it to be right.
Like I said, it was, and I honestly, and nothing against you, I don't think I'll ever see something that's dead on, but that is the closest thing that I've ever seen somebody come up. Because I've never really had the opportunity to sit down with somebody and take this much time, and then willing to take, because I feel like I'm being a pain in the butt when I'm going, oh, this ain't right, that ain't right, this ain't right.
No.
But because I have a hard time looking at it like it's not criticism, it's just getting the details right. But yeah, it's so I really appreciate y'all's encouragement. Now, be honest, don't if it's wrong, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep, it's for you.
Larry, I really appreciate it, man. I know it's it takes a lot out of the artist to do something like that, I would think.
Well, it was either do this or watch Dr. Pimple Popper with the wife.
There you go. Decision made instantly. I've put Larry's link again in the chat. Go and check him out on Facebook. Go and add him as a friend. And then you can check out all the shows that he does, the stuff he does with Mark. And go and learn about what he does, what he's been doing. Wildlife, 40 years, wildlife educator. Got some amazing creatures there. Turtles, never met the turtles yet. Maybe one day we'll see them.
Hold on, wait a minute. I'll catch the damn thing.
I'm loaded tonight, mate.
Yeah, you're banking tonight, aren't you? That's a state dinner.
Woo! I treat myself to something this month.
If you ever get across the pond, I'm going to treat you to a steak dinner and some barbecue. So you can go back.
Texas barbecue.
Nice. Nice.
That's serious.
And I'm not going to take you out for it. I'm going to cook it myself.
Oh, wow.
Not too close, Larry. It looks like one of those giant sea turtles.
I almost got chewed on.
How many turtles do you have?
Too many.
Too many. One for each finger.
I almost got. I think there's a little devil almost bit the animal guy. That looks really close, doesn't it? That looks scary. It
does.
Yeah, well,
I've
scared enough people tonight.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Between pencils and turtles.
Yeah.
little booger. He is kind of cute.
Yeah.
It's a mud turtle.
Right.
I've got an alligator snapping turtle in the other room.
Oh, really? That's a big one.
Yeah. You know what those are about, don't you, Tex?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
I
save
went
that for
round
next
and
time.
round with one on the end of a cane pole one time. I was fishing with a cane pole, and he he bit, and it was literally a tug of war to get him up on the bank. He was probably that big. His old head was probably that big around.
Well,
Oof.
And once they get mad at you, they charge you.
yeah. Yeah, that's what this one was doing. It was charging me. I don't know.
I'll just put a link to Tex's channel, Trinity Power Cryptid. Go and check out Tex and what he's doing. And I'll be over there next Thursday for brunch at 2:30 Central, I think.
Yep.
Whatever time that is for me. I'll have to work it out on the day. It's too much to think about now.
Hey, I didn't get bit by the turtle.
Oh.
But it just peed on me.
Very good at that, ain't you?
There you go. That's what you get for going live.
He has to listen to that water sound all day. He probably always has to go.
Yeah, never thought about that, but they're all piddling out. They always
peed on me.
It's the chair.
So, guys, once again, thank you, Larry, Matt, and Tex for coming on and getting that together and producing this. I'm going to show it one more time, Tex. Sorry.
And thanks, Mark.
Look down.
Oh man, that's awesome.
That is amazing. You wouldn't want to bump
Tex
into
ain't
that.
looking.
No, it's not looking. And I don't blame him.
Larry, the only thing we didn't catch her was the snarl. We didn't go into that because his nose was all crinkled up, his lips were curled back,
Yeah.
So he looked a little meaner than he does in the picture, but yeah, it's like I said, it's the closest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was incredible.
I really appreciate it, Larry. I really do.
You're welcome, Tex. Tell everybody we said hi.
Yeah.
You'll say who?
Who? Thanks to everyone in the chat tonight. Thanks to all the super chats and the questions and everything. I thought it was a really good night. I'll be back here on Saturday, not with the Bigfoot Cafe, because we are going to be only doing that twice a month now because of the way Jay works. But I'll be there on Saturday with somebody who don't know who yet. Well, I know, but you don't. You will. But until then, everyone, have a good night, and I'll see you all soon. Good night.